Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers, geezers, geeks alike, is this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast with me, your beautiful, beautiful host, Gareth, and my not so beautiful host, but still beautiful, because everyone's beautiful, Keith. You get really thrown off when I give you a compliment at the beginning of this, don't you?
Well, I was thinking, you thinking you're beautiful. Mirror, mirror on the wall. I'm joking. Yes, you did throw me a little bit. Hi, guys. Hello. Hi, Biff. How you doing, buddy?
Anyway, how we doing?
He's not wrong. Sorry.
What's this?
People on the podcast, I'm responding to some comments.
Right. I told you, Keith. I said you'll be begging for Stephen Moffat by the time this is all over.
Do you know what I shouldn't do? Right, I shouldn't watch the Doctor Who Confidential replacement or Doctor Who Unleashed, because that program almost pisses me off more when they start interviewing Russell T Davies and you just think, what a twat, than actually watching the show itself. I mean, the show is, well, we'll talk about it in a minute, but then they interview him and you just go, well, I actually used the C word. I actually used the C word at one point because something he said I found so egregious. I just went, "You're a bit of a, aren't you?" Yes. Anyway, let's talk about something positive to start with before we get into the quagmire of gunk that is Doctor Who.
Well, Doctor Disappointment. So, I love Slow Horses. I'm so happy the Slow Horses on TV. Cheers me right up.
It did. It does me. It's my favourite moment of the week, actually. Wednesdays, I sit down and I watch the Slow Horses, and it makes me smile. It's drama. It's dramatic. There are moments, but Jackson Lamb is just such a vile character. He's brilliant.
I think it's an excellent character. You know what I find really funny is this feels like it could be the spin-off to Spooks.
Yeah.
It really does. You just replace Lady Di with Harry. Yeah. And you could have had the spin-off to Spooks, and I just love the idea. Slough House is such a great idea. It really is. So this week we found out that the Tiger team, who was supposed to be testing MI6 security, through a company called Chieftain. What was it? Slime on Teeth. What's slime sort for? Slimy? Had what do you call it? Hired this guy to do the work, but the guys turned on them. And as I said before, I got a feeling that there were another two teams there, and I was right, because there was the Chieftain team, and then there was him that was hired. They still got Standish. They've got, is that the guy from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yes, among other things.
It's the guy from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, okay, I thought as much. I couldn't remember, but it was one of those things because I wasn't a big fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so my memory not so great with that. So they've caught the guy. They've got a guy from Chieftain. They've got a guy from Slough House. River got the shit kicked out of him, which I fucking loved. He's sitting there with, I can't remember, Duffy is his name, the guy in charge of the dogs, as they lovingly call it. And he's like sitting in there. He's like, you hit a what's it called, officer? Because I get dismissed for that. Yeah, he's kicking the shit out of him, and then the bald matey comes in. Yeah, and he's like, because he's like, oh, goes get any moment. He goes, I love it because he goes, get any moment that those doors will open and I'll be set free, like that. Because it goes Jackson Lamb, and he gives him it's and the other. Anyway, the bald mate with the funny ears comes in, and he just takes a running, fucking flying kick to the nuts. That guy really, I looked at that one. Oh, I just heard crunch. It was absolutely beautiful. And then when he gets outside and he sees the guy who's kicked him in the bollocks, who's not in charge of the dogs, he's like, "Aren't you the guy? Aren't you the guy from my local park? The one who goes around picking up dog shit?" Just insult. He knows what he's like, and he knows how to get under people's skin. Jackson Lamb, which is a fantastic character. And it's just beautiful the way it's done. And you've got what do you call it? Oh, I can't remember a bloody name now. You've got the two other ones. You've got the one from Luther and the black fella who's the gambling addict, and they're in the house, and she's got a fucking cocaine on her, and then they get stopped by the Met for breaking and entering, and it's just like, oh shit. And he's like, because she's giving him shit for gambling, and he knows that she's doing lines, shall we say, whilst on the job, which I found very very amusing. So
well, she got a bit of a payback. Karma came round and kicked her in the arse a bit, which I thought was kind of serve you right. So no, I liked that. I liked that bit actually, and I like them breaking into the house and you realizing, because that's the kind of giveaway that the Tiger team are in this for two different things. They're in it for all the conspiracy theorists things, but I don't know how that links to the character at the beginning.
So I think that the guy, I can't remember his name, the black fella, who's the one who was running the Tiger team. I think he's recruited the two siblings who are these house they're using. He's recruited them and he's asked for the grey books on their behalf because he's playing another game, if that makes any sense. So he's asking for the grey books as a distraction so he can then find something else. Yeah, because if he finds out what the grey books are, I imagine he'll find out what all the other stuff is, and it's quite. What's her name? He calls her Lady Di. What's the character's name? Played by
I can't remember her name.
I can't. Well, he calls her Lady Di.
She's second chair. I mean, that's what she's second chair. And you've got the first chair who is calculating, should we say?
I love when they do these little character moments, which summarize a character in one bit, where you've got the more politician lady who I can't remember her name either. Kristen Scott Thomas plays Lady Di.
Yes.
I can't call her anything other than that. So, but there's a great bit where they're in the meeting room. They're talking to each other, and she turns around and she says, "Oh, let's hope everyone gets out of this unscathed like that." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm hoping Standish will be fine," because I wasn't thinking about Standish. And it's great because she's a bitch, but she cares, and the other one's a bitch and doesn't care, and it's great characterization. Because it's nice, because as I said before, there's nothing wrong with having a character who is an asshole and cares, because that makes them interesting and you kind of like them. And I liked her for that. Yeah, and it's the first time I actually went, you know what, I'm on your fucking side all through this, because the last two seasons, it's pretty much been the slow horses against her.
Yeah, they've turned her not into an adversary now. They've turned her into a bit of a sort of
uneasy ally.
Yeah, an uneasy ally, which I thought was clever. I love the bit as you fight, because you've got like the really sort of what's the slimy
spider?
The slimy sort of Home Secretary character who at the beginning has one over, but by the end of that episode, it's it's all gone tits up. And again, Jackson Lamb is there. He's like, well, it looks like you better clean up your roadkill, which is just like really scathing, but. Again, totally deserved. I didn't see that coming, and I don't think it was the punch that killed him. I think he was shot.
No, I think it was the impact against the window.
You reckon? He
didn't
hit him that hard. I mean, he deserved the
when
punch.
He smashed his head against the window. Yeah.
I don't know. I thought there was a.
The problem is if you know anything, our government's procedure goes as follows. If in a hostage situation the hostage takers kill anyone, you kill all the hostage takers. That's the rule. Which, if they're clever enough, they'll play into later on towards the game, and all three of those people done that are going to get probably by Duffy and his lot.
I think the dude that did it has got to somewhat survive this, because there's something else going on there. But again, when you find out, because I genuinely thought that the blonde guy was just being a slimy bit of a prick, and he was getting his comeuppance, and he was being the coward that we know he is. That was quite a good twist, that he was like in the private security firm. And it was like, when he got all smarmy, it was like, nah, it was like, you're about to get killed. You're going to
Do you
get
know
it
what
now.
the funny thing was? Is the moment they went, "Oh, that title's really wanky," and the guy says, "Mr. Webb, you can come through," and he was really respectful towards him. I went, "Oh, he fucking works for him, doesn't he?" I didn't know up until that point, until he turned around. Because you see the guy, he's really respectful for him, like he's someone high up in the company. Yeah, and I went, "Oh, you work for him." I didn't realize he was the guy, but I knew that he worked for him. It's like kind of, I was expecting to see his boss and then him say something back and forth, but no, it was him. Oh my, what a wanker! I'm so annoyed that they killed him because there's so much opportunity for arseholeness.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know. There was a few other arseholes there, and the boss is a bit of an arsehole. And again, Lamb's visit to him, and like his chauffeur was a dude out the Bill. Did you know that? He was one of the CID coppers in the old ITV series, The Bill, for fucking years. I haven't seen him like in anything since The Bill, but I remember him, and he bastard hasn't got any older. But anyway, he was the guy, the chauffeur, but Lamb getting into the car and then letting one off in the fucking Rolls Royce after lighting up a fag. Right, you know, there you are in this beautiful Rolls Royce, and he sparks up a fag, which I thought was like, he just lets one off.
I love it. He goes, "Do you mind?" And he's already started smoking. And it's like kind of, yeah, I do actually. Tough. That speaks volumes about his character, him as a character. I love it because he doesn't give a
Lamb is
fuck.
genius. You know, he is
Yeah.
such.
Well,
Go on.
you have to remember that he worked. He was in behind the Iron Curtain. He got caught by the well, not the FPS, what they call them, KGB, and was tortured by them. So pretty much anything you can throw at him, he doesn't give a shit because he's been through worse, and that's why he's got that attitude.
It makes him, in one respect, he's a vile character, but in other, he is like one of the best spies there, which makes no sense why he's in Slough House, except that he's a lazy fucker. But he is genuinely a brilliant spy. And in every sort of season, you see those skills come out. And you see the fact that he's just like, you know, if he applied himself, he would be 10 times better than anyone in you know, in there. It's just that he can't be asked. But what makes him interesting is he is genuinely a brilliant spy. And the fact that he cottoned on that, you know, he was going to be meeting up with the Home Secretary, and he turns up and he knows where to apply pressure. But I mean, at some point, you know, it's got to come out that he killed Standish's boss. That's got to come out at some point.
No, husband, not boss.
I thought it was it was her boss that she was sleeping with, not husband.
The husband. Oh, well,
think,
I love that then. But here's the twist. I think that he was fine and Standish was the spy. And I think that because he fucked up like this is my theory. I have to go through the books, but because I think because he fucked up like that, where he got the wrong person, that's why he got sent to Slough House, and that's why Standish is there so he can keep an eye on her.
It's a good theory.
Because the other thing too is Standish is also a good spy. And she demonstrates that when he goes into the house. She turns around and says, as the woman's going up the stairs, she goes, "You didn't have to look for the light switch." Gathered by the names on the wall, it goes, "There are 3 children. They make sure either Alison or Susan or whatever, yeah? So which one is it? Because you're definitely not Ben, because Ben must be this one here, yeah?" And so she demonstrates, and she's done it before. When I remember when they were sitting there trying to track the car in the lorry in the first one, and she literally phones up the thingy company because, "I'm sorry, I've lost my car. Can you tell me where it is?" And then they give her the location. They're sitting there, and you've got Ho trying to do all this technical stuff, and she just makes a phone call and gets the information because she's another one who's a good spy too. It's funny because River has fucking embarrassed the dogs on I think 3 occasions, but they've only caught him on 2. Yeah, which is just amazing. So he's got some skills, but he's fucking useless.
I don't think he is. That's the thing. It's like he is. I think he is a genuinely good spy. He has his grandfather who hasn't turned up yet, which I find interesting. You know, when are we going to see his grandfather again? I find it. I think River's actually quite a good spy. He just gets bad luck. You know, I mean, everybody would have come to the same conclusion in season 2, right? It wasn't his fault. Like, you know, the thing that got him sent to Slough House wasn't his fault. It was like blonde idiot. You see that in the first.
Yeah, but he was set up by someone.
Yeah.
Who was he set up by? And my money was on his grandfather because he wanted his grandfather wanted him to be with Jackson Lamb.
his second series, everybody would have come to the same conclusion as him. Everybody would have come to the same conclusion.
It's the way he's. I think for me, it was the way he sold it because it's let's just be sure because if not.
But River,
But
I
what's
think
the Mishka-
genuinely is
yeah.
quite a good spy. I mean, he manages to get into the Slough house and pass all that security quite nicely. It's only gets caught towards the end of it. And it was bad luck that he got caught. Nothing more.
See, I just love Jackson Lamb's response to him because he's like, kind of, I would have done it, and then I would have killed all the bastards. Yeah, but that's it. I would have got in, got out. No one has known. I would have killed the bastards, and then boom, it would have been over and done with. Yeah, it's.
But again, Jackson Lamb, he's all beaten up. It's like they're both in the cab. Like,
Oh,
where
yeah.
are you going? It's like, you're such a bastard. You are such a bastard. So yeah, but you're going that way, and
I goes, no. What's it? It goes, but isn't what's it call it? Chieftain on route to where you're going. He went, yes. He goes, because Chieftain where you're. Oh, sorry, we said what was it? Chieftain's on the way to where you're going. Yeah, and can I get a ride with you? And he goes, yes. And then he goes to stay in the car. And he goes, no. It's just the way the timing on it is just like kind of. Well, you thought it was good, and then you can do one. Oh man, it's great. I clipped that bit of him in the car farting and sent it to my friend.
I know. I thought you might. That made me giggle as well. It did make me laugh. I genuinely I love the first two episodes because I messaged you going, this is awesome. I actually think this is probably the best season at the moment. It's genuinely I'm enjoying it. I just think the interaction between them is all just really quite good. I kind of like the new guy. He's interesting. I it's been good. I don't know. I mean, I think the blonde guy was getting a bit tiresome. At some point, he was going to have to get it in the neck, and because he was such a smarmy in this one, he deserved it at the end there. But I'm still. I don't know if it was the punch. I think he might have been. I think there still might be something else going on here, like another team that we just haven't been seeing.
Yeah, it'd be funny because it'd be a case that Jackson Lamb knows about that second team and has ignored the other team that they're looking into. If that makes any sense,
because they haven't linked Chieftain to the guys that are following Lamb yet, and I'm just wondering. Because you haven't seen them yet. The Chieftain team that you see was only 3 of them, right? And okay, we know that there was the larger people but they haven't sort of said why they were following Lamb. Because why were they? They were there to test MI6. Nobody gives a shit about Slough House. So who was following Lamb? What was that all about? I'm just.
There's more here.
More
and also, James Callis hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah.
So he's probably in charge of that other team. It's good though. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I hate waiting though. I'm so used to not waiting for streaming. This really feels like it should have been a BBC TV series. It really does. But they're too fucking stupid at the BBC to do that. I'm afraid. Talking of stupid BBC, shall we talk about Dr. Disappointment?
Yeah. Right. The problem is, right. This would have been.
The problem is, sorry,
a reasonable season final, right? It would have been a reasonable season final. But again, I go back to the fact this was the 60th anniversary specials. After the 50th, after you had all of those things in the 50th, you had the Night of the Doctor with the surprise comeback of Paul McGann. You had, the Day of the Doctor,
5 Doctors.
You had the 5 Doctor thing that they did as a special in the background. What the fuck was this? All this was celebrating Russell T Davies and his ego. I mean, what does he bring back? He brings back David Tennant because he's got a boner for David Tennant, which he clearly has, right? He brings him back. And, the only thing we get of any other Doctors, any other history mentioned, other than the very brief glimpse of the first Doctor in colour, which was interesting, we get marionette puppets of all of the companions. That's it. This wasn't 60 years of Doctor Who. This was Russell T Davies's crowning achievement. And the fucking reason for David Tennant's face coming back, like for him regenerating to the 14th Doctor, was just lame. I mean, it was just there was no. I'm sorry, Russell T Davies has become a lazy fuck. I mean, he just
Yeah.
has.
So let's just do a quick recap. So episodes that he picked apart was the Idiot's Lantern with John Leggy Bear. He picked apart the episode with Peter Kay, where you had whatever it was, Susan, or whatever the organisation was there. We had the fucking corridor scene, which is stupid. He picked apart the one with the Peg people that Mark Gatiss wrote. He then revisited the Master Dancing in Last of the Time Lords. He was ripping himself off. There was barely anything there.
They were all links to his
and hang on a
episodes.
second. And you were sitting there going, "Oh, we'll get Peter Capaldi come back, and this, that, and the other." What did we got? We got fucking Mel, who's famous for screaming really loudly. She did a good job. She wasn't irritating like she was when she was with Colin Baker, admittedly. Yeah. I'm just.
I mean, there were moments that I did enjoy. I mean, I still think the Bi generation. I mean, you just sit again. Don't watch Doctor Who Confidential, because all this was inflating his ego. I've done something nobody else is. We've made history. We've made history. That's all you give a shit about.
Oh no, he already did that. He did that in what do you call it?
He didn't do the Bi generation, but he did the same trick of Tennant regenerating and then not regenerating. I went, really? You're going to do that again?
Really?
And then they pulled them apart. And it was like, you just want your two doctors that you fancy on the screen together. But the moment, the bit where Mel goes to Shooty, oh, you're beautiful, that kind of makes sense because he's, but it was the bit that when Donna does, do you come in a range of colours? That did make me laugh. That did make me giggle. That did actually make me laugh.
Yeah.
That was a funny moment.
Did it feel like there was not much episode in this episode?
It felt like this wasn't the 60th. It felt like you had.
Didn't even feel like a season finale.
But here's the thing, right? This is where if people watch Doctor Who Confidential, they had Germans. You have a right to complain because Russell T Davies thinks you're all Nazis. Because get this, Gareth. Apparently, the Toymaker was a racist character. So they had to make him racist in this. So that whole sort of shot in scene in the beginning, which wouldn't have happened in 1925, just believe me, somebody wouldn't have had that in you go, I was born in Cheltenham. Maybe in today's 2023, when somebody says that, you might get that kind of attitude and rightfully so. But in 1925, if you saw an Indian chap, you'd rightfully think he was an immigrant because he probably fucking was, right, in 1925. But, we'll let that one sit. The whole reason that racist comment is in there is because Celestial, apparently, which it does in one respect, refer not just to godlike beings, it has a connection to China. Because apparently we used to call China the Celestial Empire because the sun, that's where the sun rose, right? And because the Toymaker was dressed up in this kind of Chinese style costume, that's racist. So we had to make the Toymaker a racist character. I mean,
fuck me.
Go, don't get down about it. It's so bad, it's funny, and it's so lazy, it's funny, right? And the thing that got hardest. Go on.
The thing that got me was just if you go back and watch it again, it's a shit episode.
I've watched it twice.
For either a season finale or a 60th special, yeah, it is lacking. Compare that to the bloody day. Compare that to Silver Nemesis with fucking Ace and the Seventh Doctor. That was better.
True.
Yeah, you starts off and it's like kind of you've got some like Morgana Le Fay character wandering around looking for this material that was part of Time Lords and stuff like that. Then you get the Knights turn up, and then the the bit at the end, the stinger at the end, the fucking Cybermen arrive out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, and that's like, wow. As a kid, I was like, God, I've got to go to fucking Cub Scouts in a moment.
Again, right? and you know, right, all this bullshit the Guardian put out and the BBC put out about the casting for Isaac Newton, it's a blatant lie, right? They were baiting you because they interview Russell T Davies again, right? And right at the beginning, he goes, "Oh, this is going to be a massive change for Doctor Who," and we all know how the fans like change, and he just looks at the screen. It's like, come on, have a go at me, kind of thing, and then starts laughing. It was that I am baiting you, I am pissing you off deliberately. Right, and that's what he's doing. He is doing exactly what She-Hulk did. He thinks in his brain he's the one trolling the fans, right? And that's why you lost over 500,000 viewers from the first episode, which was pretty low, right? For a normal Doctor Who episode, let alone a 60th anniversary special, right? To this one, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I keep saying this, and I'm going to say this again. This is so not impartial. This is baiting fans. It is by, apparently he was colorblind cast, Newton, which is bullshit. He was cast on purpose, specifically, so that anybody who complains about it, we can call it a racist. And when you say, well, you wouldn't fucking change Malcolm X, would you? To a white one. Yeah, but Malcolm X's thing was directly relating to his colour. How is that an argument?
Right, so that is what I heard. The theory goes as follows, yeah? The reason that they had to cast him like that is because of the BBC's DEI initiative. They had to have someone of colour in there. But considering it was an episode where it featured just two white people, they couldn't just have another white person there. Bullshit. So instead of, say, like, I don't know, landing next to Nelson Mandela in South Africa, they had to pick on Isaac Newton.
It's bullshit. Russell T. It was deliberate. It's utterly bullshit. It's deliberate. It was done deliberately because none of this is clever. It's not even doing this baiting stuff and it's not clever. It's unbelievably cliche. It's like at the final meal with the Doctor. We had to. Rose is not just trans. Nope. She's a fucking vegan too.
Now that's where I take massive offence.
Stereotyping, and because the character was racist, right? The thing. So he starts doing a comical quick before the Germans go. Oh, we have ways of making you talk, right? Again, wonderbar. He's implying that Germans are racist. That's what he's doing, right? And because the accent, by far the most accent, and when he does, where you're from kind of thing, right? It was done in a German accent, not an English accent, a German accent. It's stereotyped, it's baiting, it's white fucking knighting, and it's just bullshit. But there were moments in this that I did enjoy. I mean, the thing is that's so annoying is that actually I think I would like Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor. This is what's annoying, right? And the campness doesn't bother me. I mean, and I think the people bitching and moaning about him being gay, so fucking what? Right? It kind of makes sense that when the Doctor was a woman, fancied other women. I kind of understood that.
Right. Hold on, Keith.
Just not Yads.
He's not gay. He's fucking stereotypically gay. All right. That's the thing. That's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get awful stereotype gay. We're gonna get awful shitty 90s stereotype gay. Because in the next trailer, he's in a fucking gay club in a fucking tutu, and I'm like, oh my god! It just needs a feather boa to go along with it.
Kilt. It wasn't a tutu. It was a kilt. It was a kilt.
Was it a kilt?
Yes, it was. Because I've seen some pictures.
A white kilt.
White t-shirt and a kilt. Trust me, it's a kilt because I've seen the pictures. Let's not have some hard ass Glaswegians coming to beat the shit out of us because they take.
Oh, do you know what? I know Glaswegians, yeah, and the rules for Glaswegians when it comes to kilts are only English people wear them at weddings when they're pretending to be Scottish.
Some truth in it. It's a kilt, and I don't know why he's wearing it. Again, yeah, him in a gay club. The thing is, right, him coming in his boxer shorts. Again, I can't get this out of my brain because I just know it. Right, it was all that's all Russell T Davies doing because he just wanted to see him in his fucking, with half his kit off. And again, the unit soldier that comes at the beginning to arrest the Doctor, again, kind of looks a bit butch, kind of village people like when he turns up with the muscles out there and the Freddie Mercury tash and the slightly foreign accent kind of thing. But again, it felt a bit village people in the nicest possible way. And I look, Russell T Davies has always had an agenda when it comes to homosexuality. He's always put it in everywhere he can. He did that in the first season of Doctor Who. I mean, I remember always laughing at Torchwood, the first season, that every alien running around fucking Cardiff, and apparently they were all lots of aliens running, and they were all gay. But that's a slight overstatement. But it was funny how much of that was in there. I didn't mind the toy maker spice up your life scene that much. I kind of.
Oh no, it's not like I hadn't seen that before with the Scissor Sisters and the Master.
I know. Well, that was again. So there was some. He threaded some things in there that's obviously going to come back. You've got the legions. So you've got the toy maker's legions. You've got some kind of more powerful fucking bad guy that the toy maker was scared of that he mentioned it. And of course, you've got the Master.
Because there's only one person in Doctor Who lore that would be more powerful than the toy maker.
Who?
Omega.
Well,
he lives in his own fucking dimension too.
I think that's who's coming back. But I also
unless
think
there's something new.
But it was a woman that picked up the Master trapped in the tooth. And it was none of the women that we saw on screen. So it wasn't Wheelchair Girl. It wasn't Kate. Well, I'm sorry, but
I loved what the Wheelchair Girl.
Yeah, I mean, she was so bitchy, although the Doctor did slap her down for it.
I loved it when Kate yelled at her, goes, "I've seen you walking." I was like, well, I'm not going to argue with that, because there is a bit where she's up and she's walking around, just not massively. And I'm just like, why did you got to call electric one with the gear stick?
And they're making out like the only reason that it was what's his face cast as a toy maker was because he can sing and dance, even though they say in the thingy that he can't really dance, and that he could juggle. That was the reason. Nothing to do with the fact that he's also gay. And that's why Russell T Davies cast him, because that's exactly why Russell T Davies cast him, because he's biased.
Right, so I've reached a conclusion that Russell T Davies is completely aware that he's peaked and gone.
Yeah,
and he's trying to peak again,
but he's not. I mean, his interjected wokeness is lazy, not talented, cliche. And at times actually ends up being racist towards Germans, but you can't do that because apparently, you can't.
Germans don't count as people. They're not real people, apparently.
The baiting is done deliberately. He wants a fight with people. He wants to have a go. He likes it. He's one. Apparently the original toymaker was racist. No, it wasn't. It was part of the time. There was nothing racist about it. It was part of an era. Cultural appropriation, which I hate the fucking word, was something people just did. It wasn't done out of malice. It was done. Now we know better. Now we're a bit more civilized. But there's no need to call it racist because it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't deliberate. They weren't all on there walking around with the fucking fingers up like that, going, ning, 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 ning. They weren't doing that. It wasn't deliberately racist. It's the same as this whole bullshit around Davros, which is utter bullshit. And it's just lazy.
The worst thing, the thing with the Davros thing is all he had to do is just keep his fucking cake hole closed.
He was the one that brought the character back. That's what
it's. And do you know what his thing was? He said, it goes, out of all the characters, it's like kind of, we bring back the Master regenerates, so we have to do this, and bring back the Cybermen, they come from a different dimension, so we have to do this. We bring back Davros, we don't have to do anything, we just have to refurbish him. That's his words exactly. And all he had to do was just turn around and say the following: I want to see a different version. I want a different take on Davros because we see him in the chair. Julian's not getting any younger, yeah. And it would be nice just to see, what he looks like without the makeup pre-accident. That's it. You just
that
shut your mouth.
because it would have worked.
I would have accepted
That's
that.
what I thought, and that's what I thought until Russell T Davies opened his mouth and ended up looking like a complete and utter tard, because that's what you are, and that's what you've become. You've been sucker punched by the woke brigade, and now you've got it into your head that you are a bastion of, what's the word? Virtue, and therefore you have this platform, so you're going to use it. But the trouble is, Russell, you're not even doing it intelligently. It's just cliche, and it's so clunky, and it's so bad. It's almost funny how you do it. And casting an Indian guy, a half Indian guy. Yes, he's British. He's a British actor, born in England, but his father was Indian. And unfortunately, Sir Isaac Newton had white skin, and he's a part of history. And the thing is, you can't recast historic characters. You can't, right? It's what Hollywood has done. Making Cleopatra black, for fuck's sake, when we know damn well she wasn't. Right? It's just stupid. It's misrepresenting history. And the problem is we learn from our history, right? There are going to be school kids watching this that are going to think that Sir Isaac Newton was some hot, mixed race guy when he wasn't. It's wrong. And I don't care what bloody race they are.
Hang on, Keith. This is the thing that they don't understand. Yeah? Because the moment they find out who he is and what he looks like, the first question is, why? Why did you change him? And well done, gentlemen. You fucking lost them. You sit there and think you're indoctrinating people. You lost them. And I don't know. I find it weird because there's an interview with Stephen Moffat, and he explains how Doctor Who can't be left or right wing. It has to be down the middle, which is sensible, and I really appreciate that. And he's and as I said before, at the end of this, you'll be fucking begging for Moffat, because I know that the shit bits of Doctor Who that were put in place, and I heard it from Stephen Moffat's mouth. Yeah, he was about 20 meters away from me when he said it. I have bosses too who make demands of me. Yeah. And it's like, and one of the things that he was like, kind of, one of the questions that you couldn't ask him was, when's the Doctor going to be a woman? Which means he didn't fucking want to do it. If you were told before he comes, Stephen Moffat's coming out. Oh, sorry. Part of me, I'm pressing the button, Keith. I'm pressing the button.
I didn't press it. Hand not
okay.
On the mouse. No, I'm
part
sorry.
of me is like, I could ignore the Chibnall. There's a good point, because I could ignore the Chibnall stuff because I didn't like it. I really could.
Look, I'm unusual. I've always said, and I maintain this, I don't have a problem with the Doctor being a woman, as long as it was played by a competent actress who embodied some of the character, and written, more importantly, by a competent writer. I have no problem with the Doctor being bisexual, gay, whatever you want it to be. Kind of makes sense when the Doctor was a woman to sort of fancy other women. It kind of made sense. Just not Yaz, because she was boring, dull, and did nothing. She was no Rose. She was no fucking Amy Pond. She was no Clara. All three of those were interesting companions. I loved the buddy-buddy relationship between Donna. I loved seeing Donna again. But again, interjecting this wokeness into Donna, it just didn't make sense. It didn't, again, I don't even have a problem with Donna having a trans daughter. Again, the trans stuff was so clunky. The only natural thing was the grandmother saying, asking the question and being uncomfortable or not wanting to upset her and asking. I get that. I have no problem with any of that. It's fine, right? But it was the clunking way that it was done. It was shining a neon light on it, and it wasn't about the character. It was about Russell T Davies being virtuous. That's what it was about, and that's what pisses me off, because you can see it. Oh. We see through this. I have no problem with the character. I know that you've got issues, and I respect that. But for me, I didn't have an issue with that.
Children, don't fuck with children in that fashion.
I get it. No, look, it's the child's choice. It's the child's choice.
No,
Now,
it's not the child's choice.
No,
You only make
well,
that choice when you're an adult. It's the adult's
it's
choice
true.
to do that to the child.
No,
That's the
I mean,
problem.
I have a kind of niece, I suppose she is my niece, effectively, who is trans, right? It's true, right? She's been persecuted by a bloody mother, and don't even get me started because I want to fucking smack the bitch so hard. And her grandfather and her biological father, right? And I've already got, she's living with my sister-in-law at the moment, right? Now, when I met her, she was 8 years ago. She's 21 now, right? So she was like 12. You could tell then. She was a boy then, but you could tell, right?
Are you sure just wasn't a tomboy or a lesbian?
No, she wasn't. And no, her parents don't want it. She's chosen this, and now she's 21. She's not had the operation or anything like that, but she's very much a girl. Trust me.
So she's a girl now.
Yes, she is. Yeah. And
so she was a boy and then a girl.
She was a very fucking feminine boy, and she never wore boys thing. Every time no one looked, she was putting makeup on. But that's another matter. Different to a Tom. Different to a Tom.
Right. I get the idea of men dressing up in drag and whatnot. That kind of.
No,
that's fine.
Trust me, this is real, and you could sense it the minute you met her. I mean, there's another.
But the thing is do you leave the fucking children alone? That's all I ask. Yeah. Since you're an adult, you can do what you fucking want. As long as you don't ask me to pay for it, I'm not interested. It's your money, your life, your choice.
The Guardian's gone after a lot of fans, and the BBC have gone after a lot of fans who are raising these points and trying to make them all these ists. And the thing is, we're not. I just have a problem with you misrepresenting historical characters, right? For the fact, for the thing that you just want to bait people, right? Which is not impartial, right? And it would be fine if this was on a streaming service or on ITV, not the BBC. You're meant to make programs for everybody. Stop baiting people. I don't care what your fucking views are. You work for a publicly funded company. You want to have a platform. You want to use your words. Go work for ITV. Go work for Sky TV. Go work for a fucking streaming channel. Don't work for the fucking public network that is paid for by taxpayers' money. Don't. Because it's not a fucking platform. The BBC is meant to be there for everybody, and it's not. And Doctor Who is a sheer goddamn evidence of this. The BBC is entirely broken, right? And I know there's loads of people out there, my father included, says, I don't want to get rid of the BBC because I don't like adverts. That's not enough of a reason. The BBC
streaming.
Is not impartial.
Go, Apple TV's not got adverts.
Yes.
Well, it's got maybe in between, but you can skip
watch
them.
everything on streaming like I do. I am never going to pay for a TV license again. Even if I come back to the UK, I will never pay for one. And I'm especially not paying an extra tenner, which it will be next year, because it's not worth it. It's not for me. The BBC don't make programs anymore for me. Every drama series they make has to have a lesbian character or something else in it. Everything has to be a way of, social, what do they call it? Social engineering.
Social engineering.
And this is what the BBC is doing. And the thing is, they're slightly more clever with this in other aspects. In fact, the only goddamn program they still make that I actually watch, to be honest, is Beyond Paradise and Death in Paradise. But even they have had moments, right? But
I'm with you on those two programs.
But it's just getting worse. And Doctor Who, you've got no excuse. And here, this was 60 years. This is the second longest running science fiction show in the world. Where was the celebration? I know. I think Star Trek's slightly longer. I think Star Trek.
No. Doctor Who was in black and white.
Yeah, but Doctor Who was in black and white when Star Trek was in color. Because
still before.
But
anyway,
I mean, I know it's before man landed on the moon. So. But here's the thing, right? 60 years of this program. Where was the celebration? All this was a celebration of Russell T Davies' greatest moments. That's what this was. It was, the day that they didn't even air the damn episodes on the day because Russell wanted it on a Saturday, right? And we're getting the Christmas special back, which, yay, great. But the trailer, and there is a moment in the trailer. There was a moment in the trailer that did give me the feels when he's you mentioned it before we came on air. It's when he's running along the rooftop and he jumps onto that and goes, "Hi, I'm the Doctor." Yeah, I'm there for it, and I like the actor. I don't care that he's camp.
Okay. Right. So, November 23rd, 1963. Star
right.
Trek, 1966.
Then it's the longest
I
running
can't bother thinking.
science fiction show. Where was the bloody celebration? Where was the celebration of all things Doctor Who, not just all things Russell T Davies?
Let's just have a look at some of these comments, because the guys have been chatting quite nicely. So first of all, hello Biffa. Sorry, we're not ignoring you. We just kind of got carried away. And yeah, yeah, I missed that. You can't spell retard without RTD. I love that saying. I'm keeping that saying. It's not mine.
Thanks,
I wish it was mine.
I needed that.
What's that?
Oh dear, brilliant.
So we got that there. Hello, Laurie. I think Chuck is up. Where are we?
Hi, buddy.
So yes, Giggle was a 60-minute end credit scene setting up shooting at one. Yeah, it kind of felt a bit like that.
But there were
moments hello, Chuck.
That I enjoyed him.
Yeah, Chuck, where's my Iceland stuff? I got cycling on Tuesday. I would like something to watch as I'm cycling in the gym. Thank you very much. Not like to sit there and watch YouTube as I'm cycling. Oh, fuck me. Thanks, Biffa. I forgot about that. Remember this one? Remember this one? Oh my god, if this wasn't a poke at the fucking audience, I don't know what was.
Was that the cancellation thing?
No, this was that everyone thinks they're right and causing havoc with everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking word.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh my absolute
I can tell you one thing, Russell, you're not right. You are so far from being right. You've insulted Germans, disabled people, in many ways trans people, because you just did a cliche thing, and stereotyped them, because now
Doctor Who fans.
Now, not only are you a vegan, all trans people have to be vegans as well. Jesus Christ. I mean, I can tell you one thing. She like my niece, she likes a good beef burger, telling you. So bullshit that they all have to be vegans. And that was just, again, why did you have to have the vegan thing in there? Again, it was there. Steve. It's cliche. And hi, Steve. I have got some Doctor Who ornaments, but I got them from the 50th.
I couldn't find them. I looked at the Hallmark thing, and I couldn't. They're in the UK.
Despite what's happened to this show, I still have a love of Doctor Who, even not this current incarnation of it. I have to admit that the jukebox in Ncuti's TARDIS set, I'm warming to that TARDIS set. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm warming to that TARDIS set. It's kind of, I like the white back. And
retarded
I like the
set.
Retarded set. I like the jukebox in it. The thing, do you know what I find so fucking annoying, right? I think if we'd had Moffat writing for Ncuti Gatwa, he would have been a really bloody good Doctor. And that's what's so annoying. Because I like Ncuti Gatwa. I do. I genuinely do like him. I liked him as Eric. I always did. I was excited about him being the Doctor. But there's just all this shoehorn stuff in. I could live with the gay stuff. I could, right? I was used to that with Russell T Davies writing before. I was fine with that, right? I don't really have a problem with that. It's all the other stuff that bothers me. But yeah, I might have a look at some more, because I have a Christmas jumper, right? And unless people really pay attention to it, I've got this blue Christmas jumper, and it looks like it's snowflakes, but in between the snowflakes are Daleks and Cybermen and TARDISes, and you have to really look. It's my favorite Christmas jumper. I love it. Unfortunately,
also had this. You had, as I said, we created the master scene from last Time Lord, where he's running around to the Scissor Sisters. That was a pretty much thing. I don't know. I was expecting him to use the term reality bender. Do British to understand that? I'm really surprising they didn't fit some kind of communist message in there somewhere. That reminds me of the Harry Enfield sketch where they're trying to figure out a name for BBC Two, and it's all the BBC controllers are together, and it's like kind of what should we call BBC our second BBC channel? We should call it BBC Stalin, like that, because we're all commies.
You you said you watched Monarch, and I was
Yes, I watched
enjoying Monarch until this week. I have to admit, there was something in this week that just me went,
really?
Yeah.
Really? I wonder if they tried to crowbar something in there.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was crowbarring in the fact that she was a lesbian.
and then they doubled down on the crowbarring.
Yeah.
So it's like she's not just a lesbian, she's an unfaithful lesbian too, and she got a load of kids killed. Really making this character really likable.
Well, she was okay. She was kind of sympathetic until they did that. And it was crowbarred. You're right. The whole lesbian thing was crowbarred. I was actually enjoying it up until that moment. And then when the minute you see her with a girlfriend, you just went, oh, God. And you're like, why am I doing that? Why? I shouldn't feel like this because I don't have a problem with people being gay. But this is
right, because
this is what I meant last week.
Right. Right, hold on a second. So that was crowbarred in there. My wife, who's a teacher, turns around and says, the school was inappropriate behaviour, and that's disciplinary.
Yes,
yeah, and it shouldn't have happened. And I know
any relationship is inappropriate. You never see that in school. You're not allowed, whether male or girl. It was inappropriate that she walked into the school hand in hand, and it's not because she's a girl. It's inappropriate, full stop. But yeah, it's
also she came into school late too. She's supposed to be in half an hour before the children are, at least. Trust me, I know.
I hate feeling like this because I hate groaning about things like this because I don't groan about it in real life. I've got gay friends and I don't care. You know, I don't think of it like that. It's not because they're gay. It's because it's crowbarred. It's because it's not done naturally, and it's because everything has to have a fucking gay character now. And the problem is, I was enjoying Monarch until then, and it's the fakeness of it. That's the problem.
The thing in the 90s I always had a problem with was when they crowbarred a romance in there that didn't fucking work.
Yes.
Do you remember that in the 90s? You had they had to have some romance in there for the women, and it's like kind of, but it doesn't fucking work. Why have you got it in there? Take it out. Seriously. And it's the same with this. And it's like kind of, oh my God, aliens invading. They've destroyed New York and they've taken out London because they're coming this way. And what do we do? Oh, look, you're gay. The fuck? What about the aliens?
It was the whole 7 and 9 thing, making her gay all of a sudden that I never bought. And again, this character.
And the worst thing is, hang on a second. The worst thing is, the thing that got me was not gay with Raffi. I'm sorry. She's got better taste than that.
Yeah. I don't. What did you make of it though? Until that point, what did you make of it?
Boring, laboured, not very interesting. Didn't you could literally, I could literally take a pair of scissors that make it an hour and a half, and you'd love that hour and a half that I'd leave in there.
I have to say, I found the 1950s stuff more interesting than the modern day thing. I found the 50s stuff more interesting. Seven of Nothing Gay. Seriously, Steve, have you not watched Picard season 1 and 2?
It just gets crowbarred in at the end of season 1. Oh, the Borg cubes crashed on this planet, and they're about to unleash some evil AI from another dimension. Oh, and by the way, I'm gay! Oh, fuck me. That's how it happened. Literally, I've just... Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. We did, funny enough, Laurie, we also do call them sweaters. It's kind of a mixture.
Jumper.
Just confuse it. Yeah, we say jumpers.
Laurie, call them jumpers.
My dad says a sweater. Sometimes he says jumpers. Sometimes, I mean, when we're talking about Christmas, we do say Christmas jumpers. Like my work had a Christmas jumper day on Friday, and
I always for me it's woolen knitted jumpers.
Yeah. That's what
that
I've
kind
got.
of fabric that you wear to the gym. Sweater, because you sweat into that. Jumper keeps you warm. Sorry.
I mean, but I've got the proper woolen knitted Christmas jumper. I wish I had it here, but you just can't wear it here. But I would have taken a picture of it for Christmas jumper day if I had it, and seen how many people see the fucking TARDIS. See, Doctor Who fan have been all my life, and this is the thing, right? I suppose I remember Doctor Who before I remember Star Trek. I remember Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
It was Star Wars, Doctor Who, then Star Trek for me. But I remember Colin Baker. I remember Bonnie Langford. Bonnie Langford was my first companion. So I didn't mind seeing about that much. I think she looks fucking good considering. I didn't mind Bonnie Langford being back. That didn't really fuss me that much.
Keith. It's in the next season where they make her black.
Oh yeah, no.
She's ginger too, so right
and
for it.
The thing was, I know I'm going back to Doctor Who, but the thing that bothered me the most was there were moments that I generally enjoyed because I love these characters, and I'm not going to lie, when they split apart and Shooty goes over and goes, how do I look? She goes, you're beautiful. I found that quite appropriate. And then because of the campness of it, and I've seen how women speak to very camp gay guys like that, and they do say things like that. But it was then Donna that sticks around in such a Donna way. Do you come in a range of colours? I found that funny. And that was typically Donna. And it made me giggle. But, there's going to be somebody saying, oh, that's racist. It wasn't. It was funny. But anyway, I kind of see where you're coming from on Monarch. I just suppose it was something to watch that's better than half the other stuff that's on TV at the moment.
Yeah, it's so slow, so fucking slow. It really is.
Yeah, well, you could say the same about For All Mankind, I suppose.
I don't watch For All Mankind because there you go. I'm fine for that one.
This week's episode was good, actually. Quite a good twist at the end. And that's been all right this season. That's been all right, better this season. Oh, you've got it back though now. So now that you've got Apple TV, you've got to catch up. You've got to watch Foundation. You've got to sit through all
that. Foundation is like a cheese sandwich with no butter in it.
That's got a third
Seriously.
season. That has been given a third season. But there's a film that's just come out on Netflix that I have not yet watched with Julia Roberts that everybody's banging on about, which is about some kind of apocalypse because they got hacked. But it's got it's got a class in it. Yeah.
Yes, it's I can't remember what it is. I saw that advertised. Yes. Oh man. Godzilla -1 is coming out in UK on Friday.
So how has the critical drinker already seen it?
He had a screener copy from Robert Meyer Burnett. You can see it when he's got a clip and it's got the screener number blurred out. Just saying.
I want to go and see that. I'm genuinely interested to go and see that, actually. Partly because I like all things Japanese, and two, it does actually look quite good. And it's not because I want to be going to the cinema. Oh no, it's a Gojira. I don't want to be doing that. But
it's Gojira. It's Gojira. There's a what do you call it? Apparently, it's really sad in places.
Well, yeah, it's sex. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the period that it's set in.
No. I'm talking about the whole Godzilla thing. It's nothing about the post-war. It's the shit that happens with Godzilla to the people. That's the sad bit, apparently. I was like, because I listened to one person review it and turned around and said, I didn't want to go because when I found out it was as sad as it was, it's a real emotional roller coaster. Thanks. That means a lot.
Yeah, I want to go and see it too. I don't know when it's getting released here. And the trouble is, even if it does get released here, because it's a Japanese movie, it'll probably have Thai subtitles, which means I can't go and see it yet. So at some point I will see it, but I'll probably have to wait until it comes to streaming so I can watch it with the English subs. And I'm used to watching things with subs now, quite a bit. I watch something with my wife every 3 days a week. So although it's tell I've been living here for 7 years. You can tell I've been living here long enough because now I don't always need the subtitles to understand. I'm picking up words and go, I know what they're talking about. Yeah, I want to go and see Godzilla. I've seen lots of good reviews about it. The trailer does it for me. I kind of think it's cool the way he powers up. I rewatched the 2014 Godzilla movie purely because I wanted to see how it was linking into that Monarch TV series. And it does link in quite well. They have linked it quite well. They have done. Although, I mean, Monarch, you need more Godzilla in it. You're right. It is slow burning. The only bit that's like really cool is on the Bikini Atoll when Godzilla turns up. But that's the only time you've seen him throughout the whole thing. So yeah, and now we're not going going back in time and seeing the beginning of Monarch. We were following those characters at the beginning, and I enjoyed that. What?
Die Hard is on at my local cinema. 30th anniversary.
As they say, it's not Christmas until
35th anniversary.
It's not Christmas until you see Hans Gruber falling off the Nakatomi Plaza. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Live with it.
Do you know what? We had a conversation, and one of the people I work with, she just turned around and we were talking about Christmas movies. She turned to me and goes, "No, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie," and it was great because someone was standing behind. I think it was a guy called Gary was standing behind me. And goes, "It fucking is."
It's a Christmas movie.
It's great.
It's a Christmas movie.
It's during a Christmas party
Christmas
on
music
Christmas
in
Eve.
it. Exactly. It's set at Christmas. It's a Christmas bloody movie. Because I watch it every Christmas. It's not Christmas, as I said, until Hans Gruber falls off the fucking Nakatomi Plaza.
It's just really annoying. It's on the same day that Godzilla -1 comes out. But given the fact that it's a one-off, I think I'm going to go and watch Die Hard and then I'll go and watch Godzilla.
You've got the card. You just walk out once in a
I know, but I can't do 2 sittings at once.
Yes, you can.
Sleep.
Okay, be a man.
They don't open that late. This is it doesn't work because by the time it finishes, Godzilla -1 won't be on. Also, I have to work on a Friday.
So, is it only on a
shit!
Friday?
I can't do it on Friday because hang on a second. I've just realised I'm doing the Drunk Gaming Face Punch podcast on a Friday, and I recommend you watch, Keith, because we're going to be drunk.
Gareth, you've got a bit of a cough. I can hear it coming on. You're going to be way too
No, Keith.
on Friday.
Keith, hang on a second. Keith, we're doing the Drunk Gaming Face Punch podcast, yeah? And the subjects go as follows. Nigel's got point-and-click adventures. Babs has got forgotten FPSs, and I've got boobs in video games.
There was a video
Not
game
drunk gaming,
that I
drunk
wanted to talk
podcasting.
about this week, and I can't remember it now. I know the GTA 6 trailer came out, but that wasn't it. There was something else. Oh, right. Baldur's Gate 3. Can you please tell me what the fuck that game is and why it won Game of the Year?
It's got bear fucking in it. There you go.
Is that the reason it won? How was that better than Zelda? I'm sorry, but how was it better than Zelda?
No, it is better than Zelda. It is. Trust me, it is.
Fair
it
enough.
is. Yeah. It's a bit more to it. It's a bit more adult. It's a bit more. Yeah. Plus, the Game Awards was shit this year anyway, so don't worry. Everyone agreed. Even the people agreed. The fucking they had this thing where they were only allowed 30 seconds to make a speech rather than like a minute or 90 seconds. I blame Christopher Judge for his fucking world record beating 12 minutes or whatever he had for making his speech. So I think Christopher they had to, if that's Christopher Judge get off the stage, I think was like one of the directions on it. But yeah, I think we'll look through some of the releases and everything looked crap. I think you got GTA, and that's not even this year, that's next year.
No, it's 2025.
Yeah. Sorry, not this year. Not next year, the year after. That's what I meant to say. I was thinking it was in 2024 already.
It's 2025.
Jumped into the future.
I don't know what game at the moment. I don't really have anything I'm looking forward to at the moment. I'm sure there'll be something that I've Homeworld 3. But that's not on my
Homeworld 3.
March. It's coming in March. So yes, it's going to be that's going to be we might have to do some special podcasts around that. We'll have to do that on the gaming face punch side of things, but we're going to have to you and I are going to have to get together to do
to be up late for that one, man, or we do it on a Saturday or something.
Yeah, we'll have to maybe some special ones for that because that is like the game. I think
Yeah.
there's only a few games that you and I like really sort of get that excited and get that thingy about. That's one of them. Alien versus Predator.
It's-
I'll kick your ass.
Dude, do you remember, Mike? You got your ass handed to you very swiftly in fucking Cataclysm. Just like to point out.
Right, ladies and gentlemen. Right, Gareth is a way better video gamer than me. Right, he's genuinely much better than me. Right, but then, and I'm going on about a game that's nearly 30 years old because the only fucking game I've ever really been in on.
Yeah.
Not Homeworld.
No, right. Well, hang on. Homeworld Cataclysm. I remember I fucking delivered you a killer blow.
Kicked my ass because you were the one that caught the dog. And then I told me how
no,
to do it.
Well, no. When we were doing, what do you call it?
Yeah, you
we're doing like versus.
Yeah.
Because I was the beast, and you had the cruise missiles thing. So I just literally bought a load of cruise missiles, hyperspace jumped on top of your ship, fired the cruise missiles. You had no chance to intercept them, and they blew your fucking ship to pieces.
But
it was a fantastic tactic.
I came up with the way of defeating that third to last level on Homeworld. And I did it again last year. It still took fucking 2 weeks. Solid playing. Right? Stealing ships. 2 weeks of just stealing ships. But then you jump in on that final battle. Fucking obliterated. And I still don't know how else you defeat that level. I genuinely don't know of any other method of defeating that level. Other than stealing all those goddamn frigates. And I stole a fuckload of frigates.
And on that note, I think we should end it.
Bye-bye.
So, guys, thank you very much for washing? Yeah, thank you very much for washing. We can smell you over the internet, apparently. Watching. And thank you guys for listening on the podcast. And we will catch you in the next one, where we'll be talking about maybe Godzilla -1.
Hopefully, if you're going to see it, yeah, because I don't mind you spotting it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks to everybody in the comments. As always, Biffa, RTD, that one got me. Thanks for that. Thanks, Stupid Gamer. Thanks, Laurie and Chuck. Speak to you soon. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Harold, Stupid Gamer. You're being very polite. Like,
he is
really
being very polite. Makes me worry.
What's going on? Who are you?
Makes me worry. Oh, he didn't know what. Hang on a second. He didn't know what a bacon roll was. He got some HP sauce and went, "Oh, that goes great in the bacon roll."
Don't swear. It's ketchup. It's fucking ketchup. The
bacon
HP
roll
sauce
with brown sauce.
Don't talk rubbish. See, don't listen to him. Right? That's sacrilege. Brown sauce, ketchup. It's a very British thing. I'll have to explain it later.
It's bye from me.
Bye.